Hi, everyone. All right, welcome to this place if you're new here, and welcome back if you're returning. So this is a pick a card in relation specifically to creative projects or creativity. Actually, that's what I sang the whole time. It was like creativity with all the cards. So I suppose you could make this about whatever you like. That is your choice. But there was intention around particularly creativity, and it was kind of the emphasis. I'm going to be looking at this in a way to keep the focus, so we can come up with, the best result via a creative project. So I know all of you here are wonderful creative folks and artists and different kinds of creators, I'm sure in many different kinds of ways. So I hope you have fun with this, and on with the show. I suppose before we step into that, before we go, I guess we jumped ahead of ourselves a little. We have 3 piles here. The first pile is this little green guy. He's fuzzy and cute. It's like a lime green. Pretty excitable. We also have then we have a white character, also pretty excitable. That one's also smiling, has a cute face. And then we have this adorable character. It's a little hedgehog that I made. This is number 3, which is red and maroon and orange and yellow. So those are also colors you can go off of. Alrighty, we're going to start with green at 2 minutes. Perfect. Oh, lost a part. We can put it right back together. All right, we're on green, number 1. Give me a second to make some space on the art table and see what we can create with all the pieces. Okay, number 1, you got this adorable character. We'll just leave him over there for good measure. All right, there we go. All right, let's see what's going on with this creative project. Oh, sun. Awesome energy. Very awesome. Okay, that's incredibly positive. That really highlights the creative energy, right? So we have Leo energy here in the sun. Oh, clean up your mess. Oh, okay. You know what this is like? I seeing like a kid's room. It's all messy. Oh, the toys are everywhere. Somebody's been working with all their bits. What did we say in the beginning, right? Let me clean up the table so that we can create new energy. That could be something that's a part of this project that's needed, right? I'd also say, what kind of person are you? Some people like to put like all their pieces or all their tools kind of away. I'm feeling this where there's a place for things, right? Like everything has its place. And I sense that there's some motivation that comes from, again, like things being within reach. But the place ultimately where you create, the table, the floor, if you like to work on the floor, wherever this is, your garage, like you want to put your toys away. I heard that'll create new energy. Okay, then we have 3 of Wands. It's like a letter A there. I feel like that also creates... Can't think of the alchemical right now. This is... Okay, 3 of Wands. That's also very creative. It's open mind about things. Oh, Uranus. That's emphasizing that open mind. And Scorpio. Okay, hold on. Ace of Hearts and the 2 of Hearts. Wow, hold on a second. Let me tune in. All right, this is about your creative project. Well, some of you, when you create, you just love it so much. It's like your inner child just comes through. It's so much fun. It's like, this could be one of those things where someone, when they create, it does get really messy. Like there's all kinds of things all over the table, you know, there's like all these little bits, and so sometimes other people are motivating to switch the energy around. It could feel a little interruptive for some of you, like you're in the zone and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is happening next, so I have to do this. But I heard, remember, that's part of the creator process. Some of you are very close to something too. Meaning there may only be, clean up your mess could also be a little bit of, okay, some of you could be starting a whole new project. You're honest, very new. Or there's a new stage of it. Because I do see a lot has already been accomplished. Like a lot of the premeditation, if you will, it could have been mental kinds of energy, like putting good energy into it, making plans and like thinking about it, like, ooh, how could I go around this, or how can I make this happen? I feel like this is something that's been happening for some in the background, although there's also creative energy that's being put out into the world as well. There's like these two different places happening at the same time. So, oh, are you a multitasker? Multitasker. Some of you love to multitask. Oh, you work on like multiple projects at once. I feel like this little green guy here, whoever's here, your artistic energy is almost like it kind of comes out of nowhere. It's like, again, like your inner child, where it's just like, oh, I'm going to make a cake. And then it's just like flour all over the kitchen and there's a bunch of dishes in the sink. But like when you're in it, you're like, oh my God, I love this cake. Like this is so much fun. And you put it all together. And then it's actually done in a way, but then it goes in the oven. Here. I guess if you're wanting that kind of creative, I heard yeehaw flow in your endeavors to work with your energy better, is as you're creating, you can have that flow, but you want to clean up your mess as you go. It's almost as if, because when you get to the stage where you put it in the oven, then there's this time period where you've already put all this creative energy into it. You put all this effort into it. Now it just needs to cook in there, right? While that's happening, instead of being like, oh, now I got to clean up my mess, or like, oh, now I got to do this. It's more like, well, you've already done that whilst you were doing this other thing, again, multitasking. And in that, you could take the time while this is sitting in the oven to be like, what's the next thing I want to make? So maybe some of you are also 3/4 of the way through something. Some of you, that's a part of it. Some of you are only 30% there. 30-40% there. So what are your next steps? I feel like this is less of, I'm trying to create this to have it do that. It's more of the creative process in and of itself. Whatever's going on here with this project, that's what makes it fun. And the fun of it is like incredibly important. But there's so many layers to it. You know, like it may even be something where like it's simple, but in the end, like if someone knew like what it took to really do that, it would be like, whoa, that's way more complicated than it seems. But to the person creating it, it's like so easy. It's so easy. Interesting. I mean, I suppose also some of you could be one of those kind of creative people, again, where you just create to create because it feels good and it makes you feel like alive. But the thing is you may not even realize that what you create may actually be something that other people want and perhaps like could actually maybe want to even buy. Or you could sell it online or something like this. Like other people may want to know about it. And it may be something, again, that I heard is always hidden and it's just your thing. But again, it could be very well something, again, that somebody may want. So in cleaning up your mess, it could be a bit of some kind of maturation around, you know, for instance, let's use the baking example again. Say you are a really good baker. That's just what makes you happy. Well, maybe there's just a little local place that would love to carry what you make. And because it's not like, it's just sharing it. It's not like to ultimately like have this be your business. It's just sharing it. I mean, I do actually see that could be something where some of you could receive financially if you put a little bit more energy towards the business aspect of the creation. Now, this isn't the ultimate purpose of it, again, or even intention, I think, in the way that this, whoever's here, the way your energy flows, but it could be something that you'd want to think about. Or at very least sharing it with other people, you know? Huh. All right. I feel like that's good. Oh, what cool cards. If your energy ever does get stuck where that fluidity is in there, please, like, do some cleanup. You know what I mean? Like, literally speaking. Like, really, please clean that space wherever you create. Put some, because Scorpio is all about, Scorpio energy comes in and takes over energy and takes up space wherever we're not using it or wherever we don't touch it. So maybe some of you just, even if you're a very tidy person in your creative space, and maybe going in and touching things, you know, be like, wow, this is, okay, cool. You know, touching the pens and pens, whatever it is, giving it attention, maybe just doing a little dust in there, could help stimulate some energy, you know, like unearth some of that creativity. Cool. Great reading. Oh, I love that. Of course, this guy. Clean up your mess. I don't wanna. I'm gonna go play. Yep. All right, let's go to number 2. What are we at? Let's try it. Start at, I want 1333. Alrighty then, so for this pile, we have this happy little character with no eyeballs. That's totally fine. They're having a good time. Let's put him over there. I guess it's a him. Alright, so this is about your creative project, your creativity. Let's see what's going on there. Oh, surprise. Surprise. Okay. Jack of Hearts. The King of Hearts. Whoa. Eight of Wands. Open your heart. That's beautiful. Sagittarius and the Moon. Oh. Wow, hold on. Oh, some of you are creating love. Huh. Now, this is supposed to be about a creative project. Help me to... Give me a second to tune in. What's going on with this creative project? I feel like this is more of an emotional creation than it is a physical creation. Can we just look at it like that for a second? Maybe that's part of what the surprise is recognizing that it's not about where it goes, it's about what it is. There are two significant characters here. I feel like, again, the emotional state or the okay, again, let's keep taking this as an emotional, as creating emotionally. A Sagittarius moon is not afraid, really, of much. It's so optimistic. But in that way, it sometimes can be naive. Now, I feel like there's been enough surprises, if you will, like a whoops energy, like, oh, that didn't work kind of energy. But it's not like, oh, fuck, that didn't work, I'm a fucking failure. It's not that. It's just like, oh, crap, that didn't work. You know, it reminds me of the very first time I tried to fire. I was working with like red clay, and I tried to fire. I wanted to fire it myself because it has to burn at this like really particular temperature, and when I did it, I made like 30 pieces, and like maybe 5 of them made it through the fire. And even those ones weren't something that I felt was good enough quality to be able to give, because it was kind of like just a testing period. Do you know what I mean? And so, and I learned a lot through that experience. And like what worked, and like where I was putting too much in, you know, where it needed more space. I actually realized that it didn't need as much power as I was putting into it either for it to actually do it right. Now, because a person's been, again, there's this... I don't want you to look at your previous failures like we just talked about as if that's like a hole in your balloon. Okay, that's not the point of it. If anything, the failures really helped a person to learn here. The surprises, again, oh wait, why is there like a fish in the cup? You know, it just, something didn't turn out the way that you wanted. That was exactly the lesson. And again, as long as it's taken optimistically, then we move into this energy. Now, when we get here, all of a sudden, now there's more of this intuitive knowing because of this previous experience that helps a person to comprehend more and be able to communicate what they have done wrong and like what happened, why it happened, how you were a part of what happened. And that in and of itself, well, I guess if we create from love, that's what's being created here. I would also say whoever is here, this reading is expressing to me very much so that you're the kind of person that seems to be really inspired by creating sort of for or with people. That's like a big part of it. Like number one was sort of like creating for itself, just to create, even though they didn't mind sharing it, but it wasn't ultimately the point of it. It was just for the creation. This is like wanting to create to help, or like wanting to create to expand or grow with something, and particularly with other people. Interesting. Huh. Open your heart. Let's actually, should we read that card? Yeah, let's do that. Hold on a second. That is the thing. Been loving little accents lately. It's so fun. I've always loved different accents from different places. Okay. We're gonna read this card right here. Okay. Look at all those butterflies coming out of that hat. Okay, it says, the answer is simple. Open your heart. To love yourself and experience all the blessings your spirit offers, you must have an open heart. You cannot fully experience love of any sort, creation of any sort, that of self or otherwise, if the heart is not open. Maybe that's what this Sagittarian arrow is doing, is like, it's not deflating the moon, it's opening it. We're all born with a welcoming heart. The one that expects life to be a positive experience. It's especially important right now to open yourself up, because life is trying to deliver you the gift of love. And I suppose creativity. The spirit of life knows exactly what your core needs, what your soul needs, and is much more willing to supply that. Oh, is more than willing to supply that, and so much more. But it cannot succeed if you're not prepared to receive the blessings it wants to rain upon you. Ego, fear, pain, and disappointment all slam the heart door shut. The ego, however convincing it can try to be, can never truly shield you, because it's disconnected from source. Only a willing heart can receive your innermost desire. Take the risk. Feel the flow of creative energy coming in. It says, open your heart and believe. So actually, maybe for some of you, if we take this back into, again, that purely creative project, whatever you are creatively, positively putting out there, maybe some of you need to believe more and feel. I almost feel like this would be a group that kind of wants a little bit of approval, or they wouldn't want to disappoint anyone. But again, I feel like the surprise is if you're creating with love, out of love, and we're talking about not being naive, but being optimistic in ways of how all of this works, then I heard you may be surprised about how far what you're creating with can reach, or how wide of an expanse that can touch upon. somebody's grandfather here too. Oh, you know what? This could also be, there's another layer here. This could also be, I see another kind of person that may actually be surprised if they try something. Like someone, for instance, someone may say, again, what did we say in the beginning? It wasn't like this was coming off like a person that already would consider themselves like an artist or something. It was more just a person that likes to create emotionally with other people, which is beautiful. But if we kick this back into a purely like an artistic kind of creative thing, some of you may be very surprised if you just take a class. You may be like, I'm no good at that. Like, I've never done that before. But it's almost like beginner's luck. You may realize like, holy shit, this is so much fun. Like you step right up. It's like you may surprise yourself about how quickly you are able to learn and to progress in something because you go from the Jack to the King. And again, it may be something that's actually very easy, like it just flows to you. It's like, it's actually in tune, but you may not even realize that you're good at it yet. And actually, regardless of your creative definition and or emotional exchange with whatever you're working with here, I actually feel like this could be relative to anyone. Where like, I really feel like you may really surprise yourself on how... But it's almost like you got to kind of try something new, or maybe it's something you just thought you would never do. Maybe it's like a friend is like, hey, like I'm going to you want to try this? Or I don't know, something, I don't know how to explain it. And you know what's funny is after this, a person's so excited they actually talk about it with other people. They'll be like, wow, yeah, so I've been doing this. And someone's like, oh, I'm not surprised by that. Like, I'm not surprised. And I don't know, there's something about it that just creates love between the whole situation. So maybe this could also be a person that just loves to learn. You may be surprised about what inspires you or what you can learn from. Open your heart. I'd say that's about right. Interessante. Okay, that's cool. All right, we're gonna go to number 3. I want to give this one a second and start at, let's see, we'll start at 29. Look how cute it is. Look, a little hedgehog. Gave it some metal wings. Got a hat. Okay, 29. You get this little adorable hedgehog that I made the other day. It was really fun. I made an owl too. I'm not usually a person that like goes by directions, where like you have all the pieces and you organize it and you sort of put it together like a kit. That's not generally my thing, but this was actually super fun to make. All right, so there's your little hedgehog. So freaking cute. All right, let's see your first card. Start at the bottom. You got it. Oh, okay, so this is about, remember, this is about your creative project. Oh, it just entered into Jupiter hour. Awesome. This is the card of prosperity. There's a square there. Okay. 10 of Pentacles. Holy, there's a double emphasis of prosperity. Okay, so this is about your creative project, right? Or your creative energy, what you're putting in there. Okay, we have the question, there's a person in a labyrinth here. It says turn back. Turn around from wherever you are right now. Like, look literally behind you. Let's keep going. Aries. Capricorns, we have 2 cardinal energy. 2 of clubs. Oh, and wild card. 2 of clubs and the wild card. Hold on a second. What's going on here? Let me tune in. This turn back card is the only card that's making me question. And look, it's just like her in a labyrinth, like scratching her head, like, fuck, where am I? What's going on here? But what's weird about it is everything else is so, like, settled. It's all on point. Oh, okay. This reminds me of the Aries initiation reading. You could reference that. It was for 2023. It talked about creativity. Where you actually start with creativity is the moon, right? It's with our mind, it's with an idea, and how we feel about that idea. From there, we start making a plan, Libra, right? We start looking at both sides of it, two of clubs. We start looking at both sides of it, what's possible this way, what's possible that way, maybe some things that need to be adjusted, or even projected future plan to be like, we get this Capricorn long-term energy. It's like, well, hold on a second. It's about something that comes from the soul. Something that comes from the soul. Okay, back to this creative project. We have prosperity in the 10 of Pentacles. This actually shows me something very, very successful. Even financially. Very successful. A person's worked hard to get here. It didn't just happen overnight. Capricorn, 10 of Pentacles. No way. Now, you see in this card, here's the opening right here, right? That's where she just came in. All she did was take a left, veer right, go around one bend, and then now they're here, and they're like, I feel like they're less lost than they are asking, how deep do I want to go into this? Is it worth it for me to get involved with this? Maybe this is one of those things where some of you are considering some kind of investment in something, or perhaps even a collaboration. If it's a collaboration, for instance, and all of a sudden you get so confused that you don't feel confident in connecting with that, then I would turn back and sit on it and sleep on it. Go over what you have, because I heard you want to be in business or in combination and working with other people who feel the same way you do. Okay? If you can't trust it, Capricorn, then I wouldn't, if something's too complicated, okay, I feel like it's not worth it. Now, that's not meaning it doesn't need a lot of hard work, because it does. Aries and Capricorn, that is, Mars is exalted in Capricorn. This is doing exactly what needs to be done when it needs to be done. It's the long-term game. So is this prosperity card and the Ten of Pentacles. This is all long-term. This feels kind of like taking a if someone's trying to take a shortcut, it wouldn't be worth it. So if the long road bothers you in ways of whatever your creative, I feel like the long road, how do I explain this? Don't let something throw you off your path, okay? Do not. You're not lost. Again, the door's right there. So I guess if you want to, if you're trying to try something new, say you've been doing something, the same thing for a while, right? It's obviously working for you. It's working for somebody, very much so. Whatever you've been putting time and energy into, it is prosperity. It has prosperity around it. It's prosperous. It is successful. It is something that actually like inspires you, and you love working with it, apparently. And I see this as something that a person could do for a very long time, and they're contented with it. So it may be one of those things where some of you get to a point where things are really settled, and it feels good and it's stable, and it's, again, for some of you, it could even be making you good money here. But it may be one of those things where it's just like a person, I don't know if a person gets bored, or they feel like, oh, I have to go to the next level. I have to go to the next level. And it's just like, no, actually what you're probably doing right now, the way that you're doing it is right. Again, I wouldn't, there's something about making sure that you're not complicating it. And if you are going to invest, I don't know if this is investment in a new project, or like, this isn't something that's out of your wheelhouse though. You know what I mean? It'd be like a tarot reader making a deck of cards, or like, you know, a baker writing a cookbook. It's something that's like in the wheelhouse. If you're going to do something, that would be the kind of project. You don't want to go way outside of, you know, flip the script. Again, what did we say? Turn around. It's just like, because when I turned around, it was just like, that's what it was. That isn't what it is now. So I heard, don't get lost, because wherever you are now is actually really, really, really stable and solid. And I feel like what we were saying about that initiation, it's like, however this began, I feel like you started it the right way. And actually, for some of you, if you don't feel like you've hit this like pretty hardcore prosperity, Ten of Pentacles, Capricorn energy yet, then that is totally coming to you. So again, say you're going to do you take your world, your creative energy, and you're going to try to do something, you're going to extend a branch. If you're going to do that, I would, and you have to put money into it some way, somehow, to make that happen. I feel like you want to use like 1/10 of something. You don't want to put a whole bunch of money into it, because it may be something that some of you get into and you're like, oh no, that's, because it could be, if you try something, some of you could try something and then realize you don't want to, that isn't for you. Or again, it's just too complicated. So I'd almost say stick to what you're doing, or like stick to what you know. At least for now, because again, that seems to be really, really working for somebody. And if you're the kind of person, again, that feels like this Capricorn energy, this Ten of Pentacles, the prosperity, Aries, this is all very cardinal. It's like, okay, next step, next step, next step. How can I, what's the next thing I can do? You know, what's the next show you're going to put on? It's just like, I feel like you want to work with what you have for now. Because some of you also may have completed some bigger project, or you're about to. Something needs attention here if it hasn't already come to a full completion stage yet. And this could be something that's actually distracting you also. How do you get your head back in the game too when for some reason you get a little too laid back? Or bummed out. Like, say this goes more into, we have Aries and Capricorn. Say it's more Cancer and Libra. Oh, I see, I see. Other people may not understand your process. I heard it doesn't matter. Nope, Six of Pentacles and the Fool. I heard let him play the Fool. Doesn't matter. I heard you be confident, please, about. I heard where you've come from, where this has come from, and where you are now. Some of you are a very well-established artist or creative person also. And I would say for most of you, this is your business. Like, this is totally your business. Yeah, it's probably your world. And so, again, maybe a part of it is if this is the focus, or if work is the creativity, for instance, let's say it does fold over like that, then make sure you're giving time also how do I explain it? Well, I guess the emotions of others can throw a person off. Like, what's going on in someone's personal world it doesn't have to affect this world. But a person may actually work out some of their emotional situations or things that are going on through work energy. Huh. And you know what? Didn't we talk about it in the beginning? You want to make sure you're working with people that are on the same page as you. They believe in you. Okay? People believe in each other. I mean, with Capricorn energy, Ten of Pentacles, we have to be logical. So actually, if some of you are an actual, like, artist or however you're... Because, again, I keep seeing where a person uses their creativity to make money, too. But this could be one of those things. This is a painter, right? So, for instance, like, if an artist in and of itself is sort of a freelancer, right? So a person's going to have a job, and then, okay, they get this much money. And then there may be Capricorn space in between, right? I guess if some of you are considering being that and you're not that, I heard you're going to have to understand what it means to be a freelancer. That also means a good management of your money, because it doesn't have a constant flow. Do you know what I mean? It's like it comes in, and then it comes in, and then it comes in, and then it comes in, but it's not always like consistent. Oh, and then I saw another layer. If some of you are here and you're like, this could be somebody that works for like a big company that's kind of like doesn't feel creative. then you want to, what do I see? Well, let's back up. What is it? Where did we go there? Four of Pentacles. Well, I heard it's really not about the money, but it does create security and prosperity. So I guess if you are a creative person, Page of Swords, Six of Cups, yes, Moon. If you are a creative person and that is your job, I heard thank the high heavens. Oh, I see. If you do work for a big company and you're like, fuck this, I don't want to work for corporations, I want to go do my own thing. I see, you can do whatever you want, but I actually feel like it would be more like, if you're in that kind of situation, it would just be being more creative in your spare time, because whatever your occupation is right now, or wherever, again, because there's creativity within it, there's prosperity there. You don't want to walk, I wouldn't walk away from prosperity. No, that would only cause discord and stress. So again, you want to just keep doing Nine of Pentacles. You just want to keep doing what you've been doing because you're good at it, right? If this person was a jazz singer and they sold 9 gold records, right? They've got 9 gold records. It would be kind of silly for her to, like, I don't know, like all of a sudden go open like a chicken farm. Do you know what I mean? Because I could almost see where someone would want to do, again, like a 180. And that is not, that's not how you'd go about this. And if you're curious on how to, for instance, take your creativity and have that be something that is more of a, say, create something into your occupation at some point in time, please check in with how other people have done that. You know? And so, as this feels like an energy, like, oh, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, and someone is definitely doing something very independently here, but it's also for other people. If you ever get a little bit confused, I heard go hang out with other people, right? Go into that moon energy. Maybe it's your family or your friends or whatever, you know. Go create with other people. And I would say again, if your creativity does, and I definitely see it for a lot of you here, where your creativity is something that actually turns into your occupation and gives you money, that actually creates a lot of stability and comfort, especially like, you know, whatever, make sure that you're creating just like this little guy, right? Like, I just created this, I put this together because it was fun. You know what I mean? Like, this had nothing to do with anybody else. It had nothing to do with my job. It had nothing to do with anything. It was just purely for fun. And I would say that that could be a part of it too. That could really help. Okay? Plus, look how cute it is. It's freaking adorable. Do you want to see the owl I made too? Hold on. It moves a lot. I love it. I got it at the dollar store. It's like $3. Look, you can like move its wings. And then watch this. The owl's head spins around. It's so awesome. And look, you can control the feathers. And you can control these feathers too. Oh. Whoops, his arm fell off. Good thing we put it back on. Watch this. I can see ya. You want to see something funny too? Oh, I got dizzy. Isn't he cute? I gave him metal feathers too. Yeah, I see you can move the tail and everything. So anyway, something like that. Maybe that'll maybe that'll make it fun. Oh, it lost his wrench. All right. Well, I guess that's the end of the story. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you had a good time. See you later.